Hi everybody, we're back, and hopefully everything's Totenkopf is in his dark cave, like most men. Yes, and we've got the gorgeous intensive care bear, otherwise known as Laurie, with us. I don't know who the hell is with us now, but all good. I hope I've got the right stream in front of me. I think I do. Okay, so we were going to talk about having kids and trying to be responsible in that sort of way. A lot of women out there want children, can't have children. It's a constant struggle. But yeah, so, and I introduced Laurie as saying she's the proud mother of 5. Yes. Yes. And I'm the proud mother of barely 1. Yeah. I want to kill him half the time, being a teenager, but he's a good boy. He really is. He gives me, as they say, lots of nachas. Lots of nachas. I say St. John's like the caterpillar. You just see the red hair, and then the smoke come out of his pipe, and it's like.
Well, that's the way it should be. Sorry, I think it's just Skype and the lighting isn't working very well for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, it's cool. Don't worry. You can just.
But from time to time, I'll do this, and then they can see my freaky face.
Yeah, it's like a lantern.
There we go.
Yes. So, okay. So I think having. I mean, look. Let's be honest. Humans and I think dolphins and I think some primates have sex for pleasure. Actually, I think. Yeah, that's the truth of it. And I think I learned something that said if human beings actually didn't have sex for pleasure, and most of children weren't born sort of by accident, the earth wouldn't be as populated as it is, because I think humans are very, very selfish in their dealings. I mean, yes, there are people that really want children and really want. Me personally, I didn't really think about it. It wasn't a goal for me. And when I met my first husband, I didn't think about kids, and then it just happened. And I actually cried for 3 days, and it took me 3 days to tell my mother, because I was terrified, even though I was 25. But I'd never even really held a baby until that point, and I wasn't mentally prepared for it. And then after he was also hello, Gentle. I see you in the comments. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for it. I'll be honest. I also had postnatal depression. Okay, I was in an abusive husband-wife relationship, but yeah, I definitely wasn't ready for the huge responsibility that was me having a baby. And yeah, I see Laurie is enjoying her snack. She is totally enjoying her snack there. As they say, eating is as good as great sex. Actually, your brain produces the same endorphins as you do when you have sex. So munch down, Law. Enjoy. Bon appetito.
Yeah, but
this is the first time I'm eating, so yeah. I haven't eaten today, so I'm really enjoying this.
Okay, good. Enjoy. Yes, Count?
Yeah, you're correct. Dolphins are one of them, and humans are the other ones. And then I think the other one is vegans. They also like to, do their thing.
Vegans tend to have lots of offspring. No, look, I know there's some people, who are just completely, you know, bonkers about having kids. Okay, I can't have kids anymore since I had a hysterectomy. But okay, we're looking for a plug-in device here. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to disappear off screen. Whee! I feel like in out. The stream tonight's been, it feels like it's been sex when you're 40. It's like totally unpredictable. Okay, where's the bloody, there it is. Sorry people, forgive me.
Well, if you think about it, in and out is actually rather appropriate for tonight anyway, so.
Sinjin, oh my god.
What? In and out.
Up and down, up and down.
Up and down, up and down. Let's just hope it goes in and out, up and down the right place, you know?
Yeah,
accidents
and you know,
do happen.
You know,
Accidents do happen, you know?
But you know, it's so strange now that medical testing's become so like seriously incredible and advanced. A lot of men are realizing they actually can't have little critters. I think I posted something on the Rebellious Ruth group. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, please click the red subscribe button if you logged into your Gmail account. And yeah, join the conversation. Follow me, follow all my interesting characters we have here from South Africa. Yes, we've got some fabulous people.
Yes. If you do not like Ruthie's stream, Intensive Care Bear will put you in intensive care.
Oh, shucks. No, you can dislike it. It's fine. If you don't like it, we're all good. I'm not phased. Not phased. But yes, so, all right. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's not segue. Okay, so if I can just say, so my pregnancy was a fucking shock from the beginning. I did not expect to fall pregnant, number one. It took me 3 days to adjust to the idea of maybe having a child. Basically because my partner said he couldn't have kids. His swimmers didn't swim the right way. And of course, me being the misgullible little shit that I am, went, okay. And then I didn't even realize I was pregnant. I had like light spotting, and I thought, well, that's just weird, and we'll just forget. Maybe it's just because I'm, you know, not, I'm being busy and I have been in a different place and I'm stressed a little bit. Maybe that's because it is. No morning sickness, nothing. And then we went to a community center and my husband had to go. Actually, it wasn't my husband then. Let's just make that clear. He was not my husband then. And I thought, well, while he's busy sorting out his municipal shit, I'm going to go into the family clinic center and maybe have an AIDS test or a pregnancy test. You know, let's use my tax money wisely. Seeing I pay for the tax money, let's go and do it. And I remember peeing in the cup and the little nurse coming and putting the stick in as positive. I'm like, oh, what now? Oh, what now? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. None of that shit. You will test it again. I'm like, I'm not fucking pregnant. You must be out of your mind. Like, that was the last thing I expected. Like, I thought I was going to do, I mean, I was 25, but I was still like, oh no, oh hell no. So yeah, I was very traumatized, I think. He was as happy as a little piggy in mud and poo, but I was not. Oh, Elizabeth says my offspring is super cute. Yes, on the WhatsApp group, I posted him doing a TikTok video with a friend doing dancing this week, and I was quite impressed. He's got his mom's moves. But I think in hindsight, I look back and I think to myself, had I not had this kid, I don't know where the hell I would have ended up today. And I'm actually glad I had him. Back then, I was sort of anti-abortion. I didn't think it was right. So the thought didn't even enter my mind. Now I think I'm more in tune with your choice. I think there are certain circumstances and constructures, or what's the word, structures where I think a woman has the right to choose. But yeah, what do you think about? I mean, Tot, what would you happen? A lot of people say they want to wait until they're financially ready. Personally, I don't think you're ever ready enough to have children.
What my opinions on that is, I don't think I don't have kids, but I don't think you can prepare for kids. I think it's if one of those things happen, they happen, and you just got to figure out the path ahead of you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think, and I believe also, like, kids bring, like, I know within Judaism, they, and okay, I know I talk about Judaism a lot because it's my point of reference, and I have nothing against any other religion. I really don't. Anyone is welcome, and we're all entitled to our beliefs. But for me, they actually believe that children bring their own parnosa. Parnosa is like monetary possessions into the world. Like, everyone has their allocated lot that they're given. Like, you know, you get those people that work and work and work and work and work and work and work, and then, like, shit always hits the fan with them, and they're never able to sort of get on top of that mountain. And that apparently goes according to your lot, but who knows? Who the hell knows?
Well,
But
Odin
yeah.
says we are fated, so you know.
Okay, thank you, Odin. And you, madam with the 5 kids, who knows it all, who's been through it all, hey, tell us about it. Tell us about your experience and some of your things. Were you ready for your first child? How did that go? I mean, you don't obviously have to talk about too many personal things. You can obviously choose what you wish to say.
Well, I will say, with my son, it was completely by surprise, and I didn't have what you had, the support structure. My parents passed away, had passed away quite a few years before then. So I completely wasn't ready for it. I'd been diagnosed the year before with PCOS. So I truly did not believe, well, 2 gynecologists told me, listen, your chances of conceiving naturally are between 12 and 17%.
Sure.
You know, if you are ever to have a child, you would probably have to go the IVF route. And anyway, so when I got pregnant with my son, it was a hell of a shock to me. I'd been having funny symptoms, and a colleague had said to me, "You are pregnant," without a shadow of a doubt. She had a 2-year-old girl by then, so probably she was a little bit more clued up than I would have been at that stage. And I fought it, and I fought it. At that time, I still smoked, and I felt nauseated when I lit a cigarette one morning while I was with her, and she said, "That's it." And she dragged me to Clicks because we worked at a mall. She dragged me to Clicks. She bought the pregnancy test for me, and she dragged me back to work, into the office, into the bathroom, and she said, "Now you piss on this." And I did. And I, through obviously afterwards, and I washed my hands and everything, and then I handed her the test without looking at it, and she looked at it and she started laughing at me, and she handed it back, and I looked at it and I shook it as though I was going to change the result. I looked at it again and I burst out crying.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, Tyron is going to kill me. And
Is that the father? Is he the father?
That was my first husband. So what happened was, we got married, and Dylan ended up being a honeymoon baby. So that was just completely, we didn't think it was going to happen. So obviously you're not as careful as you should be or could be.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with St. You are never prepared to have children, no matter how well in advance or how long in advance you decided and how well prepared you think you are. Those little things don't come with a manual. So that was traumatic.
Talking about manuals, like, what's with this, like, with new to be parents getting all these how to do books with kids and that? Because like cave people and that really didn't like have those things. They just went and did their thing and let their instincts take over.
Well, no, it's not just that. Back in the day, I'm talking about turn of the century and before. You had mothers and grandmothers parents and families were far more involved in with each other than they are nowadays. So you didn't need a book. You had your mother or your aunts or your older sisters or your grandmother to go to and say, listen, what now? What do I do here? And they were, I mean, and also those days, the women weren't as prone to go to hospital to have babies. They, especially in remote areas, you know, the midwife would come to you, and it would just be a lady of the village or a lady of the town who was, you know, well versed in childbirth. You know, so you know, going to hospital to have kids, it's a very recent thing. I would say it hasn't been around for quite 60 years. So you had a lot of knowledge in the family and via friends and neighbors to draw on. You didn't need any how-to manuals. But nowadays, you know, parents want to be more independent, and let's face it, I don't know a woman alive today who does absolutely everything her mother tells her to do, or her grandmother, or her sister, or her aunt, or whatever the case may be. So, and I have to say, I think a lot of those books, I know they're well-meaning and I know they're meant to help people, but I think it detracts from the fact that you might have family who are in a better position to advise you, and especially because no two babies are the same. So and writing a manual is kind of generalizing all babies and assuming that everything is going to go exactly according to the book, and the moment it doesn't go according to the book, you think there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with your child. I have a big problem with that.
Okay.
Fair point.
Sure. No, sure. And then I mean, Sinjin. Okay, so we could segue into so many things here, but I mean, like when you said now, yes, your husband or boyfriend at the time is going to kill you, in a way, I think that's a very harsh statement, because it's two of you, you know, and this is what is so wrong with pregnancy today. And we'll get back to talking about the manual now. But you know, it takes two to tango. And the truth is, if a man is ready to do that, then he's got to be at least the chance of having a child, I think. And of course it's luck and it's fun and it's in the moment, and these where, you know, and horrific things happen on the other side, and that's a story for another day. But I mean, it's honestly that if you're able to stick it in, isn't there a saying like that? If you're able to poke, then you're able to cope, or something like that. Then you've got to be able to cope, because if you're not practicing safe sex, and you know, why is it up to the woman all the time to take all the fucking precautions? I think now they've gotten men to take some sort of a tablet that can make, or maybe there aren't options yet, but I think there should be, you know. It's a terrible, lonely, and a huge responsibility for a woman to feel like she's got to carry the can. She's not only got to be healthy and eat right. I mean, I was also I was only diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome after I'd had Nathan, but I'd had it my entire life. In fact, they took out my appendix when I had a ruptured cyst when I was 12 years or 13 years old, and they didn't even tell me. So for years I didn't even. And I mean, look, I mean, I think I'd had one miscarriage before, and I also thought, well, and I mean, my ex told me, no, swimmers don't swim the right way, and I believed him. So I think never say never. And also this thing with gynaes saying, oh, 17% chance or 12% chance is also bull. I think you have to always have hope, and you have to get a second opinion. Because I think
I don't have swimmers. I have headbangers. They headbang their way forward.
Big heads, like Luna's big circly face with the squiggle. Yeah, no, like big ones. So yeah, and I just think so I don't understand, like with kids, why some men tap out. I mean, yes, okay, women are some exes are not great to deal with, but I mean, the men in my life I know look after their kids. Okay, not sperm donor, but not my sperm donor, but I do know that my guy friends, TG, he has a daughter from a previous relationship. He looks after his kids. I don't understand why men feel they have no responsibility with it. I mean, my father was also a shit when it came to that.
Well, he goes
Okay,
first.
but
Laurie or I? Go,
no,
Laurie.
you go first.
No, ladies
you.
first.
You.
Beauty
Age
before
beauty, huh?
fluffiness.
So, thank you, Sinjin. So, you know, I don't want to go too deep into my personal life here, but my dad walked out on my mom when I was 3, and my brother was, I think, 18 months old or something like that. And, you know, we reconnected when I was older, but the thing with, so you have to understand, sometimes the woman can be absolutely insufferable to live with. I'm not saying my mom was insufferable. She was by no means an easy person. But I think a lot of the time it's maybe due to the man, you know, thinking, you know, he's free to live his life. It wasn't his intention to knock up the goal, but he's not prepared to take responsibility. But also the other side of that coin is that man genuinely doesn't see a way forward to co-parenting with someone. So I think we are very, very quick as women to pass the blame to a man for walking out, but you have to ask yourself why he walked out.
Yeah, okay, walking out is one thing, but I mean, what about financially providing for their child? I mean, if he provided financially, your dad still provided financially for you, great on him. That deserves, I mean, I know with TG, he sees his daughter every other weekend. He phones her every other day. He provides financial, I mean, you know, there is financial support there and emotional support, but he has nothing to do with his ex. So I don't understand why men feel it's that they too have no responsibility. And I think men get a bad rap also because I think there are men out there that do want to support their kids and who do and are not allowed to be involved in the kids' lives. And that sort of, that to me is a huge disgrace. But yeah, Sinjin, your 2 cents on that topic?
Well, I can talk from personal experience. So, far as I'm concerned, that if you do the deed, and if you're a guy, and 9 months later a bundle of joy pops out, then you take responsibility, you grow a ball sack, and you be a man. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I dated a chick, and we apparently had a, what did you call it? An accident, and she was all very sheepish and that's coming to me to tell me about this. And I was more pissed off with it than anything that she was so sheepish with me. Like, I get it. I got a scary looking face, but I'm not that scary. Well, most of the time, at least. And she told me, well, I might be pregnant and da 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 and whatnot, and I'm thinking of having an abortion. And I told her, fucking no, you're not. And my words were to her that if you are pregnant and you don't want to have the kid, then you carry the baby to term, and then as soon as the baby's popped out, then you sign the papers to me, and you fucking walk off, and you never have to see the kid again. But that's just the way I think. I think if you do the deed, then take responsibility of your action. It takes 2 to tango, you know. No one forced you to do it. So
yeah. And what I mean, okay, if you don't want to talk too much, but obviously she lost the
I'll
baby,
talk about
right?
it. It turned out to be some bullshit vitamin C deficiency, apparently.
Yeah, and I think a lot of women, we get, I think with relationships, I know I scared someone away as well. I also thought I had like a false pregnancy. Actually, and it's weird. You think you're pregnant and you're just late, and then all of a sudden, once you sort of get to the idea that you accept that you might be pregnant, then a woman finds, oh wait, she starts late, and then whew, thank God. I'm telling you, there's nothing, that relief of knowing you're not pregnant by getting your period, there is nothing better in the world at times. It's like taking off your mask when coming home from the shops or getting into your car and taking off that mask. That relief of fearing that you're going to fall pregnant is a bitch. It's a total bitch, especially if you're not ready.
No, that's probably the one time in your life that you actually don't mind the sight of blood.
Yes, you like, or you just, and I think that's in itself. I mean, women. I mean, and I always say, yeah, we're the better sex, but yeah, we have shit to deal with, or should I say, like blood from a young age. Like and some men can't even handle like getting a drip or giving blood or anything like that. But now we're talking a bit vile. But yeah, I just think, and the hormonal changes that women go through, and I think guys and girls, like, often you'll get into a relationship and the sex is intense and things are on you in the honeymoon phase and everything is awesome, and then you fall pregnant, and let's say the two of you don't know each other well. The woman gets enormous. Okay, her hair turns beautiful, because I'm sorry, my nails and my hair never grew better when I was pregnant. Like, they were incredible. But I had pregnant brain. I was putting milk in the cupboard, keys in the fridge. I was completely crazy. I mean, I know I'm crazy now, but back then it was hectic. And then also you worried about what your family is going to say. I mean, we're living in 2020. We shouldn't actually, women anymore, shouldn't give a rat's bum about what people think if you're pregnant and you're not married yet. And I think I felt I had to marry my first husband because my mom was pressuring me. Yes, we were going to go overseas. And that was a home affairs debacle. Elizabeth, sorry guys, it's been a long day, a lazy day. And how's the weather? The weather in Gauteng's been real BMW weather. I don't know what the weather typed on, but it's been all overcast and cozy and
It's been a little bit sunny and windy, my side.
Okay. But here in Gauteng has been, not that we've been under the covers much today. Elizabeth says it must be why they only had sex when married in vintage times. Yeah, no, sure.
I don't believe that for a second.
You don't? You think? Yeah, I think men. But look, I think if there were no hookers, I mean, look how many brothels there were.
Listen,
I think did time. Yeah.
I've had conversations with my grandmother. They were fucking naughty back in their day. There was none of this we didn't have sex before marriage nonsense. They were catching on cucks so much. Why do you think a lot of the marriages went through very fast, very quick when they were younger? Is because them and their boyfriend were catching on cuck, and she was pregnant and she wasn't showing yet, so they had to get her in the white dress before the
shotgun wedding.
Yep.
Shotgun wedding, yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's
so
also,
no. I don't think they caught on any less cuck than we do now. I think they were just far more circumspect about it. Yeah. But I mean, now we're far more open. We discuss it. We talk about it to our girlfriends, and we discuss it with everyone close to us. Well, with the exception of a few. But back in the day, I mean, they were stooping in. I mean, people didn't live together. Man and woman didn't live together until marriage. But that doesn't mean that they were pure by any stretch of the imagination. I think they were just scallum about it.
And they were all driving those old big V8 cars back then, and that backspace in those cars were very big. Like, people think Grease Lightning was just a movie. No, that shit was for real.
I was just thinking about Grease, funny enough. I was thinking about that. What was her name? The redhead who falls pregnant and goes and tells him, and I think he was happy, or he was freaked out, then he was happy. Gentle says, my mom is one of 6 and my dad one of 9. Their parents were naughty. Yeah, and there just wasn't so much distractions like today, and it was happy wife, happy life. I mean,
yeah,
people had sex today. I mean, I think there are so many marriages that are absolutely wrought with dysfunction, people don't get the time to have sex. Like, you actually have
My
to
girls were all virgin babies.
What? Say again?
I said the girls are all load shedding babies.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, I'm talking cock. No, it's just when you're married, I don't think about it too much. It's just, I would go, okay, well, there's another one on the way. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually remember being terrified after I'd had the first one, because the first one was such a shock for me. And I'm actually so glad I've had a hysterectomy now. I actually used to force my husband to wear a condom because I didn't want to fall pregnant again. I was shit scared. I couldn't handle it. I'll be honest. I don't.
There are other solutions to that.
What, like what? And don't say the pull-out method, because I know a friend of mine who got pregnant at 14.
Have you ever watched Spider-Man and things like that?
Yeah.
Like Go Web Go and things of that nature?
Huh? But I'm confused. What?
Go Web Go.
Go Web Go. No, I don't know what. Okay, Laurie gets it. I don't get it.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, there are other methods out there,
All right, fair enough.
Angry pirates, and all sorts of things.
Elizabeth said they married younger. And Elizabeth is also saying my mom has 7 and dad is 9 siblings. They're all married young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but life was so simple back then. I mean, even when we were kids, come on, life was simple. I mean, we were expected to...
But don't you think that maybe life hasn't become less simple? We've just made it more complicated, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Because we all want for example, the cell phone. It's all instant gratification. Everyone's on their cell phone. It just, you got to do the basic things. I would assume is like when you have dinner, like cell phones go away and you sit down and you eat dinner together as a family, and take those old values and traditions that we used to have and still implement it in the absolute craziness this world is. If that makes sense, that's the suggestion I would have.
Yeah. No, and I think there's also this pressure. I think you've got to do what's right for you. If people, and it's about, I mean, I know so many young couples who haven't had kids yet, and people are always like, oh, aren't you popping kids? Aren't you it's got fuck all to do with anyone else, and I think sometimes, yes, there are issues. Men don't even realize. I mean, so King Henry VIII used to decapitate his wives because they had girls, for fuck's sake, and he just wanted to marry the next one. But it's actually up to the man who determines what gender the child will be. I mean, back then they didn't even know that. And today they know it. And a lot of men, I think if men want children, I think you have to go and get tested. Women go for a very embarrassing gynecology. I thank God I found a gynae now who I am one with, and please God, she will be on the show soon. She's just incredibly busy now with backlog with COVID. But, it's unbelievable. It's just, what? Men need to go and also check their shit out. They need to make sure that they have sperm count, that their junk functions properly. And I posted something on the Rebellious group. A lot of men don't know about testicular cancer. Just like we have to have fucking pap smears, they need to go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me to go to the proctologist whose name is... Wait, hold on. You're telling me to go to the proctologist whose name is Buxton van Pockenpool. Have you seen the size of the motherfucker's fingers?
Yes.
And now you want me to sit there bent over while he literally takes a borehole hammer and like stick it in there. No, fuck that.
No. Well, listen, I know
sweetie, you go to a proctologist to have your prostate examined.
Yes.
And then what?
Hang on.
And what happens at this proctologist when he's playing with your prostates, and then you go, ooh, that felt nice. Doesn't that make it feel a bit weird? afterwards?
Fucking hell.
No,
Sorry.
I think because that's how you're anatomically made. I mean, it's like, I think that's just how it's supposed to work. I mean, so you could always train your partner to find the prostate if you really want. Some men find. I mean, what's that point between your scrotum and your, what's it called?
Ruth, you
Perineum.
know, you know I love you.
But
Fuck no.
but no, you have to and guys also have to check themselves. I mean, you know, some oaks get loid in the nuts and hits and this and that, and then they get a little bump on their groin, and then they leave it, and then who would have known? Like guys can also get testicular cancer and things, and what that space, it's called a Laurie's going to tell me the name now, a perioeum or something.
What?
Called the gooch.
You're joking.
What?
Sorry.
What?
The gooch.
No, what? No, what's that space called between the
Perineum.
perineum? Yes, that's a very essential thing. Yes, Elizabeth says chommy.
It's a chommy, yeah.
So a man's chommy.
My perineum is not very essential at all. Just saying.
Okay, fair enough. But it could be. You never know. But I'm more into the whole. I must say, my S&M and my dominatrix is very much in the closet, very much.
That's all right. We can bring her out the closet.
Well, you're Jewish.
I know a few things.
What's that got to do with the price of eggs?
Well, there are certain positions that are verboten, or have you forgotten? They have that nice little talk with us, and they say,
listen, at the end of the day, what people do...
allowed, this isn't allowed.
Yeah, but what people do behind closed doors, you never know anyway.
Most things are allowed.
Aren't you grateful it's not medieval times anymore, where somebody had to be present when the marriage was consummated?
Yes, like the royalty, that everyone had to watch. I mean, can you imagine this poor girl? And then and half the kings were actually gay. It was horrendous. I mean,
but think about it this way: it might have had its like bonuses, like so taking it from a typical gender male chauvinistic pig that I am. Like, if that's the case, and there's like a hot chick checking to make sure we like doing the right thing, we could just rope her in, you know?
Yeah, but there was usually a horrible, ugly, old, horny toadweed like minister like watching, not necessarily.
Yes, and I would politely say, please, sir, may you fuck off, forget the hot one. Thank you. Just send her in, for I am the king.
Yeah, but we're not king. But I mean now.
Okay.
I mean,
so you have kids who maybe 20 years ago wouldn't have come out and said, listen, I'm curious about boys and girls. Or, you know, I think I prefer dressing up in boys' clothes more than I do in girls' clothes, or vice versa. 20, 30 years ago, that was almost unheard of. Nowadays, it's very commonplace, very commonplace. We have 2 teenagers in our family alone who have gone up to their parents and said, listen, we're gay. And these are boys who just went to high school. So, and I do understand and appreciate that is, you know, that is something that you know from early on. But 20, 30 years ago, I don't imagine my brothers going to my parents and saying, listen, we're gay. For starters, my dad would have lost his shit in a spectacular way. But secondly, and while I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a homosexuality or anything like that, you know, it was still something that was frowned upon back then. Now there's far more awareness, and in fact you have all these activism or activists, you know, going on and promoting the cause, and you know, and I have to say, guys, and Ruth, I'm very sorry for publicizing this on your channel, but you know, those groups in America, they've done such a marvelous job of making it appear cool to be be gay and to be lesbian and to identify as something that you're not. I mean, you can be a 50-year-old white man and you can identify as a 4-year-old black girl with a pet unicorn. You know, it's the way that it's been driven is completely and utterly fucking ridiculous. But
and I don't know what. And I think there's a whole generation of kids that are going to come out worse because they've been psychologically impacted by all of this.
It's as though mainstream media has created a trend out of it. You have kids, and these aren't just the ones who are genuinely confused. You have kids who know very much what they are, but for fear of being branded as an outcast because you don't toe the line and you don't follow the trends, they'll say, no, I'm gay, when in actual fact they're straight. It's just they want to be included.
It's actually the roles have completely reversed. In the old days, it would have been, okay, fear of being gay and hiding that. Now we're encouraging children that are heterosexual to be homosexual. I mean, can we not just learn to get the hell along? And I think the message I want to have is, oh yes, there's also this whole thing I wanted to do about, you know, in a relationship, you'll be in a miserable relationship and then people will decide, oh wow, yes, let's have kids. Maybe a child will make us, oh my God, that is the worst thing you could possibly do.
There is no such thing as an elastoplast baby. If that marriage is doomed to fail, a child is not going to fix it. If anything, it is grossly unjust to bring a child into such a volatile, turbulent situation.
Yeah, no, 100. You have to start with yourself. You have to, and also I would say, I mean, I think you know, like I'm 40 now, so people are like, forgive me, you guys looking at me like, what? Stop yawning. It's not, I'm not bored or anything. It's just I probably need to breathe deeper. But
drink cold water.
Drink cold water. Have a whiskey. No.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Drink cold water, breathe deeply, and then have whiskey. This sounds like before, after, and during.
You know, I mean, now I'm 40 and I'm only now really discovering my sexuality and feeling very confident. And this year doesn't count. Teacher's correcting me on my age and I'm saying this year doesn't count. Woohoo! We're going to redo next year. And if you're young, I mean, A, you don't know what you're doing. B, you don't know what you're feeling emotionally. C, by having lots of sexual experiences before you're ready, when you're young, fucks you up, I believe. I don't think it makes, and it creates much like longer term complications for when you reach our age. I mean, people are living longer. We're not only living till we're 40. You know, we really are. We've got a long way to go. You've got to really sort of practice your sexuality when you're ready for it than when you're not ready for it. But
now these days are being pressured to. I mean, like I said, I mean they switch on the TV and you know sex is in their faces all the time. All day, every day. It's not just Saturday nights after 10:30 on ETV. This is packet porn that they have access to.
Yes.
And now you know why people are so cuck at having sex. It's because they watched ETV at night. And that's not a very good place to like figure out tips and tricks, you know?
Yeah. But all right, guys, look, I know Laurie has got things to do this evening, and we were streaming earlier and then we couldn't get our shit together as normal.
But hey, we did it.
But we did it. And I think this is also another, I mean, we can, just one of these topics that we've touched on, we could probably, and one of our experts did not make it on. Obviously, he had an emergency.
All deep in his life.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Joe. but we can like carry on next time whenever.
Yeah, I think every
everyone's
2 weeks,
available.
maybe we should have a sexy time Saturday night stream and laugh. And look, tonight was a little bit serious. I think if you are trying to have a baby and there are issues, go and get second opinions, go and see good doctors, and have yourself tested for all sorts of things. You can have blood tests now. You don't have to have the tubby finger anymore. Did you know that, St. John? You can actually have a blood test to determine if you do have prostate cancer now.
To be quite honest, like any dude talking to me about my junk and then wants to examine my junk, I have an issue with. Hence why all my doctors
check on the Rebellious group Facebook group. I posted a story today.
Hence why all my doctors are female. And you know why I go to my chiropractor.
Oh yes, no, she's
I come up with any fucking excuse in the world just to go see her.
Next time we stream, we're gonna ask her to come advertise. We'll advertise her business, okay?
Well, look, in all fairness, I probably should like reevaluate my morals and values if I do shit like that. You know, I'm just saying, it's quite rude. Yes.
Okay, so I bet you. What do you really want? Wait, what do I really want? Okay, I'll bet money on the fact that you won't go to your chiropractor and say, my tot is here.
I've done that with one of my old doctors. Back in the day, when I was about 16, I was like, well, fuck, let's try this out, and it worked. Don't ever dare me to do anything. I'll do it. There's no holds bar with me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. I can definitely believe that.
But like on a serious, yes, really, absolutely, really. It can fuck all scam. Put it that way. Like none.
Sounds me.
There's no PC culture. There's nothing. I will do it. I don't care.
Listen, do chiropractors also have to maintain that doctor-patient privilege thing?
But
what no one knows.
Wait. Okay, I know St. John thinks it's a bone. In fact, I think I didn't. My one friend jokes with me. I think in a stone state we were joking, and I don't know what I said, but she misinterpreted it to be that I thought the penis was an actual bone. I know it's an organ, okay? But anyway.
It's 3 large muscles. That's what it is, in effect.
It can also be bagpipes. Just saying.
Yes, but I don't think a chiropractor would qualify to touch said. And I mean, we can go on to Thai babies, and also we can talk about, I know Elizabeth is asking, do you guys feel that children should be limited to 2 per family? Now we just sound like we're going like the East.
No. As far as I'm concerned, you have as many as babies as you can, you can afford.
As you can afford, yes.
Yeah.
I would, and off the back of that, St. John, I would qualify that statement in saying you cannot limit a person to having, or a couple to having a set number of kids, okay? Yeah. Because in effect, what you're doing is, first of all, it's highly communist.
Yeah.
There's a certain country around, and they have a rather large and growing presence here in Africa, and specifically South Africa, okay? They have actually legalized abortion. Families or couples can go to the doctor, and when the woman is pregnant, if it's determined that it's a girl, they can actually legally have that fetus aborted.
Well, you guys kind of know my thoughts on it.
Sorry, I segued a bit. I would say if you can afford a kid, it's far easier having a kid than it is adopting an animal from the shelter. Yeah. I would say the same thing needs to apply. Somebody needs to come out and look at that couple's circumstances and determine whether they can actually take care of a child.
Yes.
And based on that, they need to receive counseling prior to starting a family.
Yeah.
Because so but saying no, you have to be limited to 2 kids, that's complete and utter bullshit. Yeah. Similarly, I think there's not enough control being exercised over people who cannot have children, and in fact should not have children. That's why our orphanages are in the state that they're in. No, it's
let
people
alone our
not
shelters, let alone our dog and cat shelters.
qualified, educated decisions by themselves.
Correct. Correct. But then the United Nations, I remember there was something about in India, because they've also got massive amounts of vast population. They were offering people like a free radio or something to have a vasectomy, because just to try and control the population and obviously the poverty. Then someone from the woke side of the world said, no, that's violation of human rights. And I'm going, it's a choice. It should be a choice.
Can I segue there for a second on the Indian population thing? Okay, not for Indian perspective, but for the rest of the world perspective. Let India have as many babies as they want, because when it comes to man power, India is catching up with China very fast, and I would very much like India to be a buffer state of China, if that makes sense.
The other thing that I would like to add is, up until very recently, India had the highest infant mortality rate in the world. I think it was 4 out of 10 babies that did not survive their birth. So just having to bolt that on there. I mean, there's this whole dispute going on between India and China regarding territory. So, I think we're all very, very curious to see what happens there. Hashtag grabs popcorn. But it doesn't detract from the fact that the world in general is incredibly overpopulated.
Well, yes and no. Where the worlds are overpopulated, that area can't handle that kind of population. For example, like Africa, right? It's dry. However you want to put it. But like North America and Europe and parts of Asia can actually handle a lot more people. And I'm not I'm not pushing like the refugee immigration story at all. Like, I'm dead against that. But like, certain places in the world can handle far more population. Some parts of the world can't, like Africa, for example, and parts of Asia.
Yeah,
no, guys, we could sit here all night, and obviously I want to have a
but I'm enjoying this, and not like you're just abandoning me, man. Like, kind of hurts my feelings.
Stay on. You can.
I'm gonna like cry and shit now. Okay, no, I'm joking.
It's fine. You can cry Monday morning at breakfast.
Okay, I'll have a what's it, a groot hail?
Yes, you can have a groot hail on my big shoulders.
You can message me when you're there and say, we're having, and you can take photos of your eggs Benedict or whatever the hell it is you're having.
Is that the egg with the salmon on?
Oh, yummy.
No,
that is so wrong.
It's the poached egg with the hollandaise sauce over it. It's quite yummy.
The salmon to go with it perfects it to a T. In fact, I've got a photo. I'll send you both.
Okay, to be quite honest,
haddock with eggs Benedict. Just saying, because haddock is typically breakfast fish.
Yes,
so
you're right.
I'm quite proud of my. I'm quite proud of my white trailer trash park kind of vibe. Like, bacon and eggs is good, eh? I'm just saying.
I know. That's why I'm taking you to that little place called High Tea. It's just to give you, a taste of how the other side lives.
I don't want to have a funny fish in my egg.
From Cape Town. Maybe Elizabeth should join you both. Hey, Liz.
Come, Elizabeth.
You guys, it's so packed. You guys could all meet in Cape Town. Actually, if you know what, if I had more people in Pretoria that are online, like I would organize a get together. Like, seriously, all the YouTubers are in Cape Town. Like, all the guys that watch are in Cape Town.
No, there's some up in Joburg and Pretoria.
Very few. Well, I just noticed everyone in Cape Town.
Isn't he close?
Who?
Herman.
No, he's out in Brits. That's about like 2 hours away, an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he's land busy. He's farming and shit. So, but we have got. He has said when he comes to Pretoria.
So, Chantal, if you want to join us on Monday, let us know.
I have to be honest. I can't wait for the day that I get to give Kenyon a high five.
Why do I
Well, he
think?
might be at the range tomorrow, so maybe drop in there. I'm on Oro duty tomorrow, so
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
in.
no, yeah, no,
Okay, for the
definitely.
person who has no gun knowledge, what the hell is RO duty?
It's range officer duty. So every
Oh.
6 weeks, I have to perform range officer duties at the local shooting range because it's a
Okay.
passion of mine and it's a pleasure, and I
Yes.
love playing guard. Love it.
Yes.
And I'll be joining in with that shooting passion. I'm talking about guns, people, if you're wondering.
Yes. I
Yeah,
know you.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
isn't it
very
amazing?
excited.
We've moved from penises to guns. This is like
Well,
so
there's very little
shocking.
difference. They both go off if you don't treat them nicely.
Yes, and you
You
must
mean
always
if you
be
treat them
conscious.
nicely, they go off.
You must always be conscious of where your muzzle is directed.
Yes,
Yes.
and protect it and lubricate always, and safety. Always make sure the safety's on. Yes, yes.
That's why I was saying, like, to you, like, go spider web,
Know your
go.
target
You
and
know,
what's beyond it. Don't point it at people.
Yes. But like
Don't
that,
pull the
that
trigger
granny
and
that
let your
pointed
shoot.
it.
it depends
Okay,
what
let's-
muzzle you talking about, though. You know.
All right, guys, we definitely need to maybe we need to do a stream. You heard it here first about the correlation between sexuality and guns and compare the two. Actually, someone was showing me the other day. What was it? Now I've forgotten what it's called. Was it a PPK? No, what was it? I don't know. PPK?
Walter, is it a pistol?
Yes, a Walter PPK. And
Yeah.
they actually can get
Yeah.
them secondhand for quite reasonably. And they're also a smaller gun, but I don't know what they're like. I don't know if you can get parts for them. I don't know if you can get. But yeah,
Nah,
this person
I'm
knows
starting
this,
off.
we'd rather wait.
I'm starting off with a CZ, and then we'll work our way up to the big stuff.
Thanks,
Yes,
guys.
No,
TFN.
it's fine.
Remember to subscribe and like.